Hey you guys, hello, thanks for jumping on. I see. Get my glossy lip going real quick. I was, sorry for the delay, I was trying something new and different, and I'm gonna have to keep working on that and try to figure it out. So, we are gonna roll this way this time. So my name's Lisa. I am just a regular home baker person, and I just like to bake at home. So I've totally been doing that every Friday, and so I thought, why not just do a live and invite you guys to bake along with me. So my house is called Camp Kailua, so that's why it's the Camp Kailua Bakeshop. So there you go, in a nutshell. So today the recipe comes to us from Bon Appetit, and it is technically called obscenely chocolatey chocolate cookies, but I've called them like 800 different things this week, like super duper chocolatey chocolate cookies, candy bar chocolatey chocolate cookies, anything really with chocolatey chocolate cookies is what's going down today. And so that's kind of sounded pretty divine, right? So for those of you that are just joining me, or maybe it's your first time or not, I don't know, but I am going to start broadcasting from my Camp Kailua Bakeshop page. So I'll be moving those over there, all the videos, and my lives will start being broadcast there. So be on the lookout for that. So like I said, today we're going to be doing the obscenely chocolate cookies, or super duper chocolate candy bar cookies of yumminess. That sounds like a perfect name. So today I did not preheat my oven. We're gonna wait to bake these, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit. I did wash my hands already, so we're good there, and I've gathered my ingredients. So let me tell you about that, because if you haven't done so yet, you're going to want to grab some of these. I've got 2 eggs, and they're at room temperature. Now, if you haven't gotten yours yet at room temperature, that's okay. You can put them in a bowl with some kind of tepid water, and it'll bring them to room temperature pretty quickly. I have that. I have also 2 sticks of unsalted butter that I've actually browned. So I went ahead and browned it ahead of time for a couple of reasons. One, it takes a while, and I didn't think that you guys wanted to sit there for 10 minutes while I browned butter, right? It's not that exciting. But 2, I also thought we could talk through what that process looks like. So we'll talk about that when I get to the butter. I also have 1 2/3 cups of regular flour. I have a teaspoon of baking soda. And I've got a 1/3 cup of cocoa. And I have some, it called for dark brown sugar, but I couldn't find that. So that just refers to that it just has a little bit more molasses to it. So I've just got my regular brown sugar that I always get, and I have a 1/4 cup of that, and then I've got a 1/4 cup of, no, I'm totally lying. It's a 1/4 cup of plain sugar and 3/4 cup of brown sugar. There you go. You're gonna also use a little bit of salt, a little bit of vanilla. Here's the fun part. You're also going to get to use some candy bars. So as I started looking at this recipe, I thought this would be a really fun thing to do with like leftover Valentine candy or leftover Halloween candy, right? But I don't have either of those today. So I kind of mixed it up a little bit from the regular recipe, which I know is not what I usually do, but I found these chocolate chips. Oh, it's backwards, isn't it? Hold on. Let me flip it. Hold on. Okay, so these are by Ghirardelli, obviously, but these are called Grand Chips. It says that they are double the size, right? That sounded pretty stinking fabulous for super duper chocolatey chocolate cookies. So that's what I'm going to use. Look at, can you see this little picture? That says actual size, right? Holy smokes, they're ginormous. So I cannot wait to use these. I'm not gonna use the whole bag, I'm just gonna use some. So I'll have to come up with a plan It's 11 ounces in here. I only need 8, so I don't know. We'll figure out what to do with the rest of those. So there's that. However, I also have, those I'm going to mix into the batter. I also have just kind of a variety. I bought these little, I don't even know, what are these called? Nuggets. I bought these little nuggets, and so I'm going to just chop those and use those. And then I also got some of these peanut butter, little chunky bite things, Snickers, creamy peanut butter squares. So I thought those would be fun to put in some of them too. So I've got just a variety of the nuggets, and then that Snickers peanut butter square thing that I'll chop up. So the candy bars I'm actually going to chop up and put on top of the cookies before I bake them. So we'll see how that goes, right? All right, so as you guys know, if you have joined me before, Fridays here at Camp Kailua are Fireball Fridays. What? So while you guys gather your ingredients, if you're going to do a bake-along with me, I'm going to grab some Fireball. You can also grab Fireball if you want to toast with me, and meet me back here, okay? In like not that long, a couple seconds. All right, friends, Fireball Friday, let's do this. Today I'm using my Cubs World Series shot glass. It's always a good day to celebrate the Cubs and Cubs baseball, right? So cheers and happy Friday. Woo. All right, let's get cooking. What I'm going to do, I always like to tip you guys down so you can watch the action instead of me. And so I'm going to tip you down so you can kind of keep your eyes on what's happening here and all of that good stuff. If you have questions, definitely drop them in the comments. And you know what? Just say hello in the comments too. Let me know that you're here. Sound good? Okay, I'm going to tip you over. Well, not over. That sounded terrible. Just tip you down. Perfect, and I'm gonna keep the recipe here because I don't know what I'm doing. So I've already got my flour. You know what, I'm not gonna start with the flour. I just remembered I'm gonna start with this. I wanted to show you this first. Hold on. So let me pour my brown butter in here because I need it to cool down a little bit more. So earlier I mentioned to you that I browned the butter ahead of time. So, and right now I'm just kind of scraping the pan. If there's any little brown bits, I want to get those incorporated as well. Let me just go drop this in the sink. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so let's talk brown butter. So it takes about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit less, depending on how cold your butter is when you start. What you do, you just pop it in a saucepan on the stove. I usually use unsalted sticks of butter. Super easy to melt. Tastes delicious when it's brown. And then you're going to just, it's basically like fancy melted butter, right? So you start melting it and you keep going. It's going to kind of get foamy, and that's how you know you're on track for brown butter success. So once it starts to get foamy, you really are gonna be stirring it the whole time, but really major focus on it, right? Once it starts to get foamy, you're stirring. All of a sudden, I kid you not, you'll start to see kind of the under that foam butter will start to go from like butter color to like this clear and like kind of goldeny color. And all of a sudden, all that foam just kind of dissipates. It's the coolest thing. Then it starts to really brown, and you'll smell it. It smells a little bit nutty, and that's exactly what we're looking for. We want it to kind of be that nutty, kind of golden brown-ish, yellow-ish color. If it's got a little bit of brown flecks in there, it's perfect. You're good to go. Gotta watch it because it'll go from brown butter to blech butter in like no time flat. So just be really mindful of that, because if it turns that corner, it's totally unusable and it's gross. So just really watch it. You really want it to be a nice, like still butter, but a little bit brown. So I'm gonna take this, I want it to, it's still a little bit warm, so I'm gonna just set this aside and let it keep cooling. And now I really am gonna do the flour stitch. So let me tip you down. Okay guys, I have flour and baking soda. So 1 2/3 cups of flour and 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and I whisked that together already. I also have, as you can probably see, a 1/3 cup of cocoa. So I've got those ready to go. I'm just gonna whisk these together. And I like, so this whisk gets a little bit tighter together. So I like that for this purpose because I want it to be nicely incorporated, and I don't need it to have a lot of air in there. I've got another one that's kind of more bulby, and the whisk bits are a little farther apart. So that's great if I need to incorporate air, but I just need to mix it this time. Kind of break up any of these cocoa lumps. So this goes pretty fast. Look at that, easy, right? Still, every time I turn it, I swear there's a little bit more that I'm like, oh, okay, this needs a little more mixing. All right, guys. All right, I think that's good, right? See how it got really nicely mixed in? I'm gonna keep the whisk with this mixture because I am going to wanna mix it again before I add it to the other concoction. So, let's just see. I have to check the ingredients, guys. Oh, the other tip that I wanted to share with you about the brown butter, use a wooden spoon to brown that butter. I don't know why. I'm not sure. It's just the way I learned how to do it, so it must be right. Just kidding, I don't know. But like literally every time I see anybody do a brown butter video, they use a wooden spoon. So I'm pretty sure that's the way to go. So definitely go that route. Now, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. These are the dry ingredients. I'm gonna set them aside and we're gonna work with this butter. And again, this is 2 sticks of brown butter. And I probably should have browned it. I would have liked it a little bit browner, but it'll be fine. It'll be delicious. So to this brown sugar, to this mixture, I just am trying to make sure it's cool enough because I'm about to add sugar and I don't want the sugar to melt in there. So I don't want it to be too hot, but I think it should be okay. Should be okay. So I'm gonna add 3/4 cups of brown sugar. Now here's the thing, it doesn't say if it's supposed to be packed. Yes, it does. Okay. So I'm going to take, I don't have a 3/4 cup measure, so I'm gonna do 3 1/4 cups. And I'm just gonna pack each one. So to pack it, you just gather up your brown sugar. And then all I do is, guys, is take it and smash it up against the side of my container. You could also use like the back of a spoon. But that's it. There's a little extra, I'm not gonna be mad if there's a little extra brown sugar in this. And then you just drop it in. So there's one. And you can tell if you really packed it nicely because it kind of holds its shape. So let me do, I have 2 more, right? So here's number 2. All right, and then the last one, because we want 3/4 cup altogether. All right, good to go. Also to this, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of regular sugar. And so that's easy, right? And you could, if you wanted to, just kind of make sure it's smooth across the top. I guess that's the technical way, right? Okay, so that's in there. Now, I just want to mix this and get this incorporated. Get everything kind of mixed in with that brown butter. Oh my gosh, it smells already so fantastic. Like brown sugar and butter. Is there anything better than that smell? Maybe there is. Oh, whew, it smells nice. Okay, so it kind of makes, you know what it looks like a sugar face scrub. So that's what that might look like. It's ready to go. The next thing I'm going to do is take 1 large egg, and I'm going to just drop that in there. I think first I'm going to crack it into a cup though. And we're going to go 1 egg at a time on this. So here's the first one. And then I want to mix that in really well. You could use a whisk for this part, but I'm just going to keep using my awesome spatula, spoonula thing. This one is from Pampered Chef. All right, so that looks pretty good, right? Pretty well incorporated. I don't have any egg bits poking out. So then I'm going to add this second egg. Crack it into its cup here so I can just pour it in. Uh-oh, little shell guy got in there. Hold on. So to get the shell out, guys, I'm just going to use this eggshell, and I'm going to just stick it in because it's right, it hasn't like gotten mixed in or anything, so it's just right there. And it's nice because it really it just grabs it, so it's much easier than trying to use a spoon or something. Okay, so that's good. I'm going to mix this in. And again, if you wanted to whisk it, you could, but I'm just going to use this. And you want to just mix it until everything's really incorporated. Shouldn't take too long. I can still see some eggy bits. Oh, it smells amazing. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to add is our vanilla. So today I'm using the Molina. This is delicious. It's my favorite. I'm going to use a tablespoon, which I know seems like a lot, but you'll probably also know that I love vanilla, so I'm not mad about that. My tablespoon measures are all dirty, so I'm going to use teaspoons. So 3 teaspoons make a tablespoon. So there's a little math for you. So I'm going to use 3 teaspoons to equal 1 tablespoon. All right. And then I'm just going to mix this in again. This is a new recipe for me. I haven't made it before. I've made something similar. Some of you may remember me making candy bar cookies when we lived in Austin. I used to make them, and they were so good. I think it was Austin. Can't remember. Anyway, you may remember me making them, but this recipe is a little bit different. All right, so there's that. Good, right? Nice and incorporated. So the next thing I want to do is now I'm going to mix in those dry ingredients. I feel like I forgot salt. Hold on. Oh, I did. You guys, I forgot the salt. We're just going to add a little bit right now and just incorporate that. It says 1.5 teaspoons, but that seems like a lot. So I just did a few turns and I'll mix that up really well. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to just mix in, this is my flour and cocoa and baking soda mixture. I'm just gonna whisk it up again one more time. Everything looks good. And I'm just gonna do, I don't like to do the whole thing at once, so I'm gonna do about half and half. Oh, smelling great, you guys. Oh my gosh. All right, I like to do it in halves because it gives me a better idea of how things are mixing in. If I pour everything in all at once, sometimes I might miss that there's a little lumps, you know, or things like that. So this way I can really make sure everything's incorporated well and it looks really good. Oh my gosh, it is smelling so good. All right, so it's looking good. I've got some bubbles, but I think that they're just air bubbles from mixing. It doesn't look like there's any lumpy bubbles, so let me pour the rest in there. Pretty good. Okay. Now I'm just gonna incorporate the rest of that in here as well. Everybody's getting happy in here. So while I'm stirring this up, give me some hearts or something. Let me know you're still here. Are you still here? Don't be shy, say hello. All right, here we go. I like to also, you may have noticed I started turning the bowl. I don't know, I feel like that way I can really kind of spoon everything down into the base of the bowl and get everything really well incorporated. Make sure I've got everybody in here. Okay, that's good. Now, we need now to add these chips. So I'm going to use about 8 ounces. If you're using the candy bars, the same thing. You would just use 8 ounces of chopped candy bars and you should be good to go. So let's see. Oh my gosh, these are massive. Look at how big these chocolate chips are. Amazing. All right, that might be good. I don't know. I probably should have measured, but guys, it's chocolate chips, so can't go wrong. Is too many a thing? I don't know. Okay, oh my gosh. Look at that. All right, so the next thing that's a little bit different from other mixes, other cookies that you may have made, is that we need to let this rest. So, it says to leave it at room temperature, but it's a little bit warm here in the Camp Kailua Bake Shop. So I'm going to pop mine in the fridge and I'll be right back. All right, hold on. Okay, awesome. So, it's in the fridge, it's chilling. Oh, Amy, yay! I'm glad that you made the peach dumplings yesterday. Yeah, they're totally good. I thought I saw another comment, but I can't get to it, so I'll respond later. So that's going to chill. I'm going to leave it in the fridge probably for 15-20 minutes, and then I'm going to take it out so it will be able to get to room temperature. It says to let it rest about an hour. So you want the dough to rest for a couple of reasons. In this case, you want the cocoa and the flour to hydrate. So it's going to get really, really flavorful and really just a little extra deliciousness with that brown butter. So that's the purpose for that. When it comes out, or when I'm ready to scoop it, I'm going to preheat my oven. Let me see what the temperature is. Oh, there it is, 375. So I'm gonna set the temperature to 375 on my oven in about an hour. And then I'm going to use parchment paper. I'm gonna line my baking sheets with parchment paper. That will, even though they're non-stick, it's just a little extra layer because this dough is a little bit tacky. The dough will kind of thicken a little bit as it sits, so my guess is that it's going to be almost like truffle-like when it's finished. It does say to use like a 3 tablespoon scoop, so that's like this size, which looks gigantic, and it kind of is. So make sure when you pop these on your cookie sheet that you spread them out by about 3 inches because they'll probably grow a little bit. This scooper is the large scooper from Pampered Chef. Let me see, what else do you need to know? Oh, you're gonna bake them probably it says 8 to 10 minutes. So, you know, I always set it for the lowest, so I will start checking it at 8 minutes. And really, I do the smell check first. If I can smell it, then it's probably done. Oh yeah, so after you scoop and put your chocolate, super duper chocolatey chocolate cookies on your baking sheets, then you'll press on the top some more pieces of whatever candy bars you want to use, right? So that sounds fantastic. So you've got chocolate in the dough, you've got either giant chocolate chips like I used or chocolate candy pieces, and then we're going to put some more chocolate on the top. Choking? It sounds pretty stinking amazing. The other thing that I thought was really cool about this is that you can make this dough ahead of time and either keep it in the refrigerator or you can even freeze it. So if I were going to freeze this, I would make the balls and freeze the balls because that way then you can just pop them out and bake however many you need and you're good to go. So guys, that is super duper chocolatey chocolate cookies. Can't beat it, right? So be sure and if you watch the video, give me a little like, give me a little hello, let me know you're here. And then definitely check out my new Camp Kailua Bakeshop page because like I said, all of my stuff is going to be moving over there. So I hope to see you there. And if you have any questions or baking ideas for next week, let me know. And otherwise, have a great, fantastic weekend. And I will see you guys next week. Thanks for jumping on. Okay, my controllers look different. Okay, fun. Okay.